Hey guys, it's the ArtzyGamer back again for another video in our channel. Please grab your teas, grab your coffees, maybe a little bit of food. You know how it works by now. And let's do this. Okay, let's start the weekend right with a sip of black coffee. Oh my God, let's go. I thought I nearly spilt it then. Yes, I'm going on my Spyro coaster, and yes, okay guys, so if you are new here today and you're into retrospectives, complete and boxed experiences, art and graphic design, you are so in the right place here, so definitely consider giving this channel a subscribe and a like to the video if you haven't already. And today guys, we're going to revert back to Halloween, and we're going to continue with this Pikachu Pumpkin that we drew last week. Look at this, yeah, really awesome. It turned out really well, all inspired by T-Break Drawings, a great guy over on TikTok who basically just draws over his T-Breaks. Yeah, it's so awesome. Of course, links and all of his stuff will be going up on my YouTube as well, so definitely check him out. He's a great guy and a great artist. So anyway, yes, we're going to continue with our collaboration with this beauty today. So we are going to do some basic colouring on the main body of the Pikachu Pumpkin himself using our usual media, pencil colours and tips. I'll just cover that now. So just holding these up, I have got quite a few varied pencil colours today. Obviously, you know, quite dark orangey reds and stuff. So we have got an orange just here, a lighter orange and a red. Maybe a little bit of yellow as well. It might come into play, so keep a yellow to hand. Bit of green, obviously, for that little stalk that we get at the top of a pumpkin. Okay, and then yes, our tips, we've got an orange, we've got a red that might come into play, and a thicker one, of course, here, just to, I don't know, if there's a little bit of extra bold colouring that needs to be done, it's always handy to have a thicker tip to hand, yeah. Okay, so that is the main body, and maybe a little bit of the ears here and there. But, guys, I am going to explore something a little bit different that we haven't covered on this channel yet, and that is a collage effect. And I thought, you know what would work so well is if I printed off T-Break's original Pikachu Pumpkin, cut it up into little segments, and then collaged it in. Does that even make sense? But anyway, yeah, on main kind of big areas of Pikachu himself. So obviously we've got some lovely big areas here in the ears and that upper bit of the tail. So I thought it would be really cool if we actually added some collage effects there using actually T-Break's drawing itself. How awesome. So yeah, I will be taking you on a little tutorial how to do that. If you are following along, then yeah, here we go. This is what you do need. I would advise getting multiple. So look at this. Oh my God. All of these Pikachu pumpkins. Yeah, how awesome. I mean, you may not need that many, but I would advise getting more than one because you don't know how you don't know how much is needed. That's what I'm trying to get at. So yeah, I would advise getting more than one. Obviously, you'll need some scissors as well. Okay. And a Pritt stick. Yeah, basically just to stick all of the pieces together. Yeah. Well, I think this is going to work really well. So I'm going to get set up in the studio and I'll take you along for the ride. I'll see you over there. Okay then guys, look, here we are. We have the Pikachu Pumpkin nicely in front of us. And I have actually just gone round some of the outer lines there in a darker orange. It was this kind of pinky orange here, just to get a bit of a head start because that will take us quite a while. And you know what you mean. I don't want it to be hanging around all day. So yeah, to cut corners just a little bit, I have already done some features, but I have kept these two lines here, one there, just so we can have a go together, you know, in case you are following along and you want to join me for the ride. So yeah, we will cover that in a minute. But before we get there, guys, we are going to have a little go at doing our collage effect in the ears and the upper tail there. So here is T-Break's drawing. Whoop, here it is. All right, how awesome is that? Yeah, it's such a cool collaboration, isn't it? And wow, what we're gonna do is basically snip it all up, okay? So simple, simple, simple. Just start cutting the pieces up in lots of different angles. All right, as simple as that. Oh gosh, these scissors are not the best. Make sure you've got some nice scissors, guys. I've just got some awful kitchen scissors. I'll tell you what, you know those kind of like school scissors you got back in the day, you know, those red ones with the red handles? They are definitely the ones to go for. If you're going for like kitchen scissors like mine here, they do start to like tag away a little bit. So yeah, just be conscious of that. Just be conscious of that. Anyway, all you're doing is simply just cutting your image up into angles. Now, obviously, I've got T-Break's drawing, but this could be anything you want. Maybe like an old school magazine, maybe a really cool badass comic. Just mix it up. I think a comic actually would be really, really sick. I did mention in my previous video, the one last week, I was originally actually going to put some comic art style in the larger areas there, but I thought, you know what, we haven't done actually any collage stuff yet, and I think this would actually really, really be an awesome idea to really make it a full-on collaboration then, do you know what I mean? So just finishing this off here. Now I've made these quite big. There'll be bits where I do need these bits to be quite large, but there'll be other times where I might have to snip away and make them a lot smaller. I have already gone away and done some smaller pieces. Just pop them in a bowl as well. Then it's just easy to grab, easy to pick up, and then you're ready to stick on. So I'm just going to pop all of this in the bowl now. Okay, just like that. All right. Okay, now I'll just move that over there to just avoid any shadows. So I've got a nice clear space. Beautiful. Obviously, we will need a Pritt stick. I would recommend a Pritt stick, and a small one, not a fat one, because it is quite small areas that we're working with here. If you have got anything smaller and you think, actually, no, that is still a bit too big to, to fit in there, then by all means, go for something a little bit smaller. But I have got a pretty small one there, and I think it'll be all right for me. So just taking the lid off here. Now, try to avoid just going like that. Just get it on an angle, almost like lipstick. And you're just going to just gently, gently, gently just go and glue the area that you want to stick the picture paper on, or your comic, or your badass magazine, whatever. It doesn't matter if you don't quite reach all the edges, because there will be an opportunity to just kind of stick further down once they're all on. Okay, so we have got quite a bit of glue on there now. We have got quite a bit of glue on there. So now I'm just going to go back to my pieces and literally just start to stick away. All right, look at this. Okay, so I'll just stick that one on there. And again, just get them to overlap as well. And sometimes I quite like to just add a little bit of glue onto the piece that you have just stuck down, because yeah, it'll be there'll be others going on. I do want some of my smaller ones actually, I think, so let's just get some smaller ones on. And what also is quite a good idea as well, guys, is to just add a little bit of glue onto the back of the one that you're hoping to stick down on as well. So all the glue just helps really. The more glue, the better, because you don't really want any of the bits to flare up, if that makes sense. And I might just pop that one there. And also a good one is to just fold as well. I have done that in the past, where if it's just about to go over the black line, just fold and then you can stick something else on there. Okay, so let's maybe get this one. I'll just make sure that's definitely stuck down. Ooh, okay, so this one's quite cool. I have just got a bit of a curve here, which might work quite nicely. Yeah, that will go nicely there. Sorry if the camera is just doing a little bit of fading and unfading. Hey, that will look nice. Lovely. And again, if you just want to fold up a little bit, you can do. Okay, we're not looking too bad, guys. We're not looking too bad. Okay, maybe just put a little bit of glue down there as well. Maybe just apply a little bit onto the back as well. And then we're just gonna stick that down there. Maybe just turn it on the side a little bit. Sorry if the camera is just messing around a little bit just here, but just want to get that on there. Like, there we go, there we go, there we go. All right, and the camera's focused. Okay, so that's the idea. I actually really do like that. I really do like that. That is pretty awesome, yeah. There is just a little bit of white here, but you know what, guys? Just touch it up with a felt tip. Just touch it with a felt tip. Obviously, that'll be for me, it'll be orange there. And then we are ready to go. How awesome. So it's literally just as simple as that. Just start to cut out your image. Just plop it down here, there, just to create it into a nice little shape. Obviously, for me, it's the ear. And then we're just going to apply the same technique in the tail and the other side there. I'm going to go away and do that in my own time. I want you to apply the same technique yourself with the other areas. And then we're going to come back and continue with the Pikachu, the main body. Right, yeah, crack on with that then, guys. Of course, get your teas and coffees in as well. Grab a quick sip before you move on. Right then, look at this. Yeah. I think that has worked really, really well, hasn't it, guys? So we've literally taken tea breaks drawing, cut it all up, popped it in a bowl, glued all the areas that were relevant, stuck them all down, and I think that has created something really, really effective. I'm really happy with how that has turned out. Anyway, we need to now continue colouring the rest of the main body of the Pikachu Pumpkin, so that's exactly what we're going to do now. So, as I said previously, I've already gone round some of the main feature lines that really highlight Pikachu's face, and obviously those really realistic lines that are obviously seen in a pumpkin. Okay, I mean, are they realistic lines? I don't know. But either way, I'm going to call them realistic lines. So yeah, we're going to now just highlight the necessary ones here. Okay, so getting my slightly, I would say, darker orange. And we are going to come just to the outside of the black line there. And we are just going to press as hard as we can, really, really hard, to create a really big poppy colour. All right. Okay, and again, I am just doing this from the sidelines just to avoid any shadows or the camera just starting to go a little bit mad. But of course, you get into a nice, comfortable position and you should be able to pull this off really nicely. Now, I am actually making quite a thick, chunky line because, again, I want to create a 2 or maybe even 3 tone effect with these highlights. I would say this is our first tone, so we need to make it really, really quite thick, quite deep, quite bold. Okay, because in a minute, I am going to take the big orange liner and we are going to just follow the black lines in the thick liner. So then you'll have a shade of the thick liner and then a shaded effect with the pencil. And then you will then continue to colour the rest of the Pokemon or Pikachu Pumpkin in the standard orange. So that's the vibe that we're going for. Okay, so making it really, really thick, pressing really hard as you can go, guys, to really make that pencil colour really stand out. And I know it can be quite hard, but you do have to press quite thick. That's when the gym comes in, guys. I go to the gym for a reason. And it's to colour the Pikachu pumpkins in, absolutely. All right, okay. So that's looking pretty awesome. Okay. Now, I had already done that same effect to the left-hand side. I want you to do the same for the whole of the Pikachu pumpkin. And then, we will... Well, I'm done, guys. I'm done. So I'm waiting on you now. So we're going to move on. We're actually going to move on. Sorry, I was ready to cut the camera there. But no, we're ready to move on. So now, guys, what I'm going to do, I'm going to get my lighter shade of orange now. And I'm simply just kind of going to colour the whole of the Pikachu pumpkin in. Okay, using the same coloured pencil. Okay, now I'm happy to press quite firmly on this. We're just going to get a basic, oh, is it called a coat? Basic coat on the Pikachu himself. Then we'll start to add some detail, okay? I might go a little bit darker around the eyes. So really maybe, you know, apply that same effect there that we did with those lines. So maybe go even harder around maybe the facial features. So we will press nice and hard around the eyes, the mouth, the nose, the little rosy cheeks there, and then let it fade away into the main colour of the pumpkin. So I think that's what we'll do now as well. All right, now maybe I'll just show that technique on the cheek there. So pressing really, really hard again, guys, around the cheek area, and then let it fade, fade, fade into the main colour of the pumpkin, okay? And again, you're pressing really, really hard around those cheeks, and that'll be the same for the mouth and the ear. Well, ears? You don't know quite, no, we won't go ears. Mouth and cheeks and eyes. We've already done the ears with tea break. Tea break, stop there, you know, getting your air time. I'm joking. All right, can you see what I've done there? So go really, really hard around the cheeks, all the facial features, and then start to fade it off into the main colour. All right, so guys, that is exactly what I want you to do now. Once you've gone round the main lines in that darker orange, then go around the whole body in a set orange. I called it a coat. It could be a base layer, whatever you want to call it. Dr. Black Eagle, what are we calling this? Anyway, and yeah, that's what I want you to do now. I'm going to come and cut the camera, and then we'll come back when the whole of Pikachu is pretty much coloured in. Right then, guys, here we go. Yeah, so hopefully you've gone round the whole of your pumpkin in that lovely orange. Hopefully it is now all complete as well. And now we're just going to add the final details with our tips. Yeah, so here we go. I have already just started us off by going round those black feature lines. I called them like characteristics of the pumpkin. So yeah, we're going to go with that. Just started to just go round those in that tip there, if you can see. And again, I have just left a segment just so you can follow along with me. So you just catch the starting point of the black line. Okay. And then you simply just run your tip along the line. And again, we're just going to come here, just run your tip just on the outer part of the black line. And again, just here. There we go, to kind of create that three-tone effect there. We have the actual tip itself, then we have that darker orange, and then we have the main, I called it coat, main base layer, whatever you want to call it, of actual Pikachu himself there. So yeah, I think that has worked really well. Now you know how it is, guys. We are going to go around the whole of the pumpkin, the whole perimeter of it in this tip as well. So we're going to do that now. I have just gone around this side already, just to save a bit of time. But now that is where we just go round the perimeter of Pikachu, the Pikachu pumpkin. All right. Okay, just to give it a little bit more edge, a little bit more pop, just to make it stand out on the paper. Okay, just like that. And I have already gone round the other side, on that side there, okay, just to fill out and save a bit of time. But yeah, really, really awesome. You're going to apply the same technique along the tail. I would maybe advise at this stage going for one of our thinner tips just here, because it is a little bit smaller. So again, you are simply just going to run your tip just along the perimeter of the shape, wherever a black line meets a coloured bit of your character. And that goes for anything that we do with my artwork anyway, when we're using colouring pencils and felt tips. Okay. And you might need to go over it a few times just to make it stand out that little bit more. But like I said, I would advise going for a smaller tip when you start to do the tail there. Nice. Awesome. Okay, that's not looking too bad at all, guys. And you know what? I haven't even had a sip of coffee. So let's get the sip of coffee going on, guys. The camera's probably going to go mental. But there we go. Let's take a quick sip because I tell you what, this is actually looking really, really awesome. All right, baby. We are so nearly done. I did actually add a little bit of green just onto the top bit and bottom bit of Pikachu there. I think that's kind of quite, you know, I'm going to use the word characteristic again. Is that even the right word? I don't know. Of a pumpkin. They do tend to have that green just softly fading upwards from the top and the bottom, don't they? So yeah, I did add that, and please do that. Add effects if you want to. Yeah, go for it, guys. Right, so you know what? We are nearly done. I did save this top bit here. I think I want to make that stand out a little bit more. So we are going to go and revert back to that thicker tip, and we're simply just going to colour it in. I think that's quite a nice big bit where we can literally just go to town with our felt tip. And who doesn't love just filling a nice big block to your art in a felt tip? I certainly do. There we go. Oh, wow. Yeah, that works. That really works. Love that. Nice. Well, you know what, guys? I am really, really pumped with that. There is one final thing that is missing there, and it is this kind of blob shape that T-Break did there. I believe it's meant to represent the actual Pikachu pumpkin floating, almost as if it's like a Pokeball ready to get collected. So you know what, we are so going to add that to really, really, you know, make it a full-on collaboration, don't you think? So all I'm going to do is just do a little oval at the bottom here. It's not going to be as big as T-Breaks because I am a little bit limited for space here. But I am going to get my pencil and I am just going to do an oval, a small oval, just at the base here, just to kind of make it look like this is floating. And then I'm just gonna give it a good old shade there. Yeah, and I might even go around it in maybe a bit of a black. I don't know, but at this stage, I just want to create just a little grey oval, just to look as if it is actually floating there. Yeah, how great is that? That's worked out really, really well. Awesome. Yeah, okay. Yeah, that's actually worked out really well. I might just pull it over to the side a little bit more, and please, you know, follow along with me, guys. If you want to add that as well, please do. Yeah, go for it. And there we are. Yeah, that works really, really well. I love that. Other little bits of detail you can do before we wrap up. You can get a smaller red tip there. And, you know, you might want to go and add a few kind of like little, feature lines again. Just, little scratches and gashes here and there, just to add a little bit more detail. Please feel free, if you are at that stage where, you have got the confidence now to just kind of go freehand a little bit with your tips, your thinner tips, then please do, just to add a little bit more, then yeah, absolutely go for that. But apart from that, guys, I think that is our Pikachu Pumpkin in collaboration with T-Break complete. Yeah. All right then, guys, well, have a sip of coffee and I'll see you over in the main studio. Well, here we go, guys. Here is the finished product. How lovely is this? I think that's worked really well. I love how I've done that collage effect there on the ears and tail. A true collaboration now, don't you think? I have literally taken T-Break's drawing, cut it all up, and then applied that lovely collage in the ears and upper tail there of the Pikachu pumpkin, and then also kept some really cool characteristics of the main drawing, that lovely base there at the bottom and those cute little eyes and the cheeks. So I think that has worked really well. I'm so happy that T-Break kind of gave me that idea to put forward on our channel, and I think it worked out in a really fun video. So yeah, and thank you for all those that were following along. I know there were some people that were actually interested in following along with this. You know, over on my TikTok and stuff, they were saying, yeah, I'm going to give this Pokemon a go. Actually, you have inspired me to get a little bit creative. So yeah, I hope it has worked out for you, all right? And then something that you can pop up every Halloween. Yeah, how awesome. Awesome. Well, there we go. Well, guys, again, still lots to cover on this channel. We still need to do our PlayStation Portal update review. I can't wait to get that up. I have done a little bit of research now, and oh my gosh, what an update to that. So definitely stay tuned, of course. More TikTok funny videos and all my stupid gameplay to come up. Of course, more complete and boxed experiences. So yeah, absolutely, now is definitely the time to get subscribing. Get all your friends and family to come over here. It really will mean the world. And again, guys, we're getting close to that 250 sub mark. Yes. So of course, a mini giveaway will be coming up very shortly. So yeah, now is the time to get over to the ArtzyGamer. Well, here we go then, guys. That is me. That is the ArtzyGamer. Have a wonderful weekend, and I'll see you in tomorrow's video. Over and out.